guys, today we're making another vlog called Come Edit With Me. I am definitely gonna try to be more consistent with making vlogs, because like this girl was saying, like, you know, with dancing, like start making vlogs, especially like she was like, if the girls are bullying you and stuff. So I was like, good idea. Because I was like, good idea, because a bunch of therapists and lawyers have actually contacted me about certain things I've told some of my therapists, and told me that basically they feel that I am a victim of something called, I forget what it's called, civil conspiracy or targeted stalking. They call it gang stalking, but I think it should be called like group stalking, honestly. But yeah, it makes sense, like, to be recording the people. One, because crazy shit is always happening, and it's really stressful. Okay, like, but yeah, so this vlog today is gonna be just you guys are gonna edit my last video I filmed with me, and I'm just gonna start with like a story time about like my struggles with housing and employment, based off of this story I saw yesterday or the day before yesterday, but I'm gonna link it in the description so you guys can watch it. But it's about this lady that's like homeless because she was a caretaker to this guy and he passed away. And yeah, it's really sad, like, you know. Yeah, anyway, so I thought I would take the time to talk about my story, you know, because it all ties together, you know, this being a targeted individual, and then just struggling with housing, jobs, blah blah blah. Like, when I was younger, I didn't understand, like, you know, my managers, they always told me I'm such a great worker, you know. They always say all these positive things, like, I show up on time, I'm always early, I always do the job well. The customers will always tell them, you know, positive reviews about me. So I just thought everything was cool, you know. But then where it started to downfall was when, you know, me and the workers would raise a question, like, about our pay or something, you know. And so that's what happened to me recently, actually, that made me start dancing again. That's how I lost my last job, because they got mad because we dared to ask them. You know, we had some missing paychecks. Not only did we have missing paychecks, but we were just felt like very overworked. Like the last job that we did, well, basically it was a catering company, right? And so we just catered for like events and all this. Sometimes they would just, basically, it was like rent a worker type thing. Like, there's all these coffee shops on these, you know, campuses, these tech worker campuses, and they would just rent us out as little temporary workers to them. But it was crazy. The workload was crazy. Like, we would be making so many coffees. Like, we make like 100 coffees per hour, and they almost didn't even let you go to the bathroom. Like, we were mind blown, because all of us are fully grown, like late 20s, early 30s, some of them pushing 40 or 50, you know what I mean? And like, all of us have worked in food service for decades, you know. So, you know, it was kind of mind blowing as a grown adult to work a job where they barely let us go to the bathroom, let alone, you know, barely even fed us or anything. It was crazy. But yeah, so before that, my whole life I almost always easily got a job though, again, regardless. Like, it was never really a struggle, you know. And so I didn't think nothing of it, you know. When we all left that company, I was just like, you know what, we are definitely gonna get a new job, like easy peasy, you know. But I did so many applications, and after that I didn't find nothing. Then this lady at this restaurant, she basically broke my back. My back's basically been broken ever since, and gotten re-broken multiple times, and I haven't got to get no medical attention for it whatsoever, because the last medical emergency I had was way too expensive and scary and stressful. So I was just like, you know, I'll just take it on the chin, you know. But it made it so I basically had to stop totally, completely. And then the company was definitely like, yeah, we're not even gonna put a good word in for you. Even though, like I said, they too, just like when I was young, all those jobs I had, like, always said something very positive about my work ethic and everything. But one second. But yeah, so I just had to move and had to leave the most amazing apartment I ever had in my life. It was truly such a beautiful space. Like, I got to make a few content videos, but this is when I started not first seeing the signs of targeted stalking, or what's it called, civil conspiracy, but they oh my gosh, what's this, but the first in a long time, like. But you know, I've always been ostracized. I've always been left out. I've always been left outside on the streets, you know, despite so many people telling me, you know, wow, you're so talented and smart, beautiful, creative, graduated from honor school, cum laude, you know, got my degrees. I've spent most of my adult life, you know, couch surfing and just walking around aimlessly outside trying to find, like, safety and security, you know, or at least peace and quiet, you know, from all the noise. But it had been a long time since this happened, until this, when I had to leave that apartment. And like, basically it all started from me trying to make content. Like, I'm sure a lot of you guys saw some of my past videos, and I noticed, wow, I have a lot of supporters. Like, I made this yoga short, which I guess I'll clip it here, but where I had like 16,000 views, and I was like, okay. And even my teacher in college at the time, she was like, okay, you gotta ride the wave, like, make more content, you know, like, while you have a lot of people looking. But in this area, I ended up getting jumped multiple times. And that's why now I'm not athletic how I used to be. I used to be very, very athletic. Like, I could go to the gym like 5 days a week, like take over a mile, jog like 5 days a week. It was nothing, you know. And I would fast all the time, you know, and I was fine. I felt good, you know, until these kids in Seattle freaking jumped me randomly, you know. But they did it multiple times. Like, every time I start to get myself together, they do it again. And still now, every time, like, if I have an injury, once I start getting better, somebody does it again. And I'm like, okay, I see how a lot of the disabled people really become like so bedridden, you know, because one, not just the fear of just knowing, like, okay, at some point somebody's about to hurt you again, and you're just never going to be able to get better. But two, like, you dead ass just can't feel better. Like, you're never going to be able to get back to that point. Like, you know, so it's just really stressful. But yeah, so that contributed to me not being able to post consistently. And then it just got to the point where I didn't have any free time to make content, where I just had to work. I just had to work all the time. And like there was no time management for it. And it fucking sucks. Like I see why the girls are just, they be so stressed out than a motherfucker. Cause they never, ew, one of those fucking bugs touched me. But yeah, they never let us have enough money to do shit. Like, it'd be so motherfucking boring too, cause it's like, you know, even if you love dancing and stuff, like I love dancing, it's very fun, but it makes it so motherfucking boring when you gotta start going there full-time a week, which we never had to do that for years. And now you go there full-time a week and you're just barely making anything. You know, so then that's where it comes into play with the house. It's fucking annoying because I worked so hard. When I finally got to the apartment, like, you guys have no idea the emotion, the feeling. I wish I had done a video like, oh, just got the keys to my new place, blah, blah, like the people do. But I was trying to be safe and secure, you know. But, you guys have no idea the hell. Like, the days and days and days I've just been outside, just out doing absolutely nothing with my life. You know, I mean, for years, I wanted to dance earlier, but, there was literally never a point where, like, I was able to shower consistently or, like, even do my hair or, like, buy makeup. Like, there was a point in my life where I couldn't even buy, like, a fucking lipstick. Let alone, like, all this shit that you need to dance. One day I finally reached that point, and I said, okay, I'm gonna try it again. And, yeah, I mean, it comes in handy, but it comes in handy, like, when you're young, as a young girl. Now, it's like, it really sucks. Watching the story of the lady really triggered me back to those days. And, like, I saw somebody in the comments, like, they said, are these people really the mentally ill ones, or do we live in a mentally ill society? You know, and I thought that was intriguing because, you know, I never felt like me or a lot of the people that I met had did anything to really deserve. But it was just a lot of people telling us no. I remember that much. Like, a lot of people just telling us no. And a lot of those people that I met were definitely some of the nicest, kindest, most down-to-earth people. And even the lady in the movie, like, she was too. She was a very sweet lady. You know, she's taking care of an old man who was sick, and some reason there's nothing in place for these people. They were like, oh, you know, you have to get out 2 weeks after, since he passed away. And she didn't have nowhere to go, so she didn't report to the company that he passed and just stayed, you know, because she didn't really know what to do. She was probably traumatized, you know. But there's nothing in place in our society. There's no sort of like safety team that uses a gentle report or approach, you know. Like, so they just come in with the battery ram and the sheriffs and the deputies surrounding her. This old ass lady, y'all. And that shit triggered me because, yeah, I don't want to say why, but yeah, you know, obviously as a black person, that shit's gonna trigger you. And that shit just broke my heart, to be real. And the lady, she just been living outside ever since. And in the documentary, it showed where she was like, she was trying to get her paperwork and stuff. She was like, can I get my birth certificate? Blah, blah, blah. He's just like, no, no, no. Mind you, My lawyer said that's illegal. If anybody's ever gone through that, my lawyer said they could give you a lot of money for not letting you get your belongings, just throwing away your shit after they kick you out, blah, blah, blah. Like, no matter what the reason was that they did it, they can't just take away your stuff. Or at least not give you a chance to get it, whatever. But, yeah, everybody sees how many of these people are just out here and, they just don't care. But, it shouldn't make us just so numb to it. We shouldn't be just so numb to it, like lacking empathy. We're just so lacking empathy. So many people are. Like, and even now, it's like people never understand how stressed I feel about housing. Still, I have so much anxiety about it. Even though I work so hard, like I was saying, like nobody will understand this feeling I had when I finally had that apartment, and then to just have it taken away from me. Even the lady, she got mad at me because I couldn't sign the lease for another year. And I was like, bitch, excuse my French. I was like, do you think I wouldn't fucking stay if I could? Like, what was her fucking issue? Like, there was nothing I could do. I couldn't afford it. I didn't have no fucking job. Like, and that shit was, I was already paying $2,500 a month at that point. So I really didn't understand how the lady gonna get mad at me. But after that, it's been rough. Like, it's gone straight back to the struggle again. I mean, really, you guys. And it sucks. Like, I do think it's a so-called conspiracy. Like, the man said, like, a group conspiracy to just stop me from achieving my goals. Like, nobody wants to let me just feel stable so I can pursue my art, do my hula hoop and stuff, or like make this social media content. But I'm reaching a point now where I'm just gonna do it because they're not giving me any other option. Like, the clubs are super anti-black now. They make it so fucking hard. And then there's no job hiring. Like, I've been sitting here applying to jobs forever. There ain't shit hiring. And then anytime I do have a freaking interview, these people sabotage me. Every time. They sabotage me. They figure out how they can start. Every day these people do this. They come to my house and they'll just be screaming at me. There's all these cars always driving around me. As you can see, even like when it's like streets where usually you don't see a bunch of cars, or sometimes it'd be empty. But then as soon as I'm outside doing something, it's like a million cars driving around me. These people are always screaming at me, yelling at me. As soon as I go inside, any business, any restaurant, because they know I only have like a certain small, they be pocket watching and stuff, so I only have a small allocated amount of money, like for Uber and stuff, or like for going out. So they'll like purposely waste my money. As soon as I go to a restaurant or anything, they start coming in there screaming like, oh, you're just an N-word, like, we're about to call the police on you right now for nothing. Like, I'll just be sitting there, I don't even say anything, and it goes on and on and on for days on end, and super motherfucking toxic. So it's like I can never stabilize myself, no matter what. Even though I'm sober, I don't smoke nothing, I barely drink, I wasn't drinking for years. I didn't even barely drink when I had that apartment, but still, they just treat me like a crackhead anyway. And it's fucking annoying because it's like I really want to focus on the shit that I'm doing. I really want to focus on the shit that I'm doing. But it's impossible because every day, it's like every 5 to 10 minutes, somebody comes, either screams at you or they use the technology to like put out some sort of pulsation that freaking shocks you and scares you, or some sort of high-pitched noise or something. and they do it every day. So it's like, it's really hard to like think and like meditate and like organize your mind, you know. And yeah, this really revved up once I lost my apartment. And yeah, just been coasting from place to place. They always put me in a house with crackheads even though I'm sober. So it's another thing that keeps me, you know, stressed and makes it really hard to focus and like really hard on my health, you know. But these people, they never change. That's the thing. Like, you know, when I watch those documentaries like Yolanda, you know, it's like they never change, you know. And I really hate it. Like, I really hate being ostracized, like, you know, because like when I was a young girl, I used to always be able to get rides and stuff around town, like almost every day. I could text somebody and be like, hey, could you help me with a ride, blah blah. Now I can't. Even just this walk on the Google Maps, it says 16 minutes. It's way longer because I can only walk so fast. My body is always in excruciating pain, like every time I do this walk. And then I have to just stay in the house for a little bit, and then the people, they start yelling again. Oh yeah, I forgot there's a bus on this side. But yeah, they'll start yelling, you know, again, like trying to bully me, like, oh, you need to hurry up and come outside again, blah blah. Even though it's the same shit every time you come out. It's this, the million cars driving around you, and the people screaming at you, scaring you. Then force me to ride the bus around so I have to be around the crackheads. And then any business I go into, you know, they always send somebody to call me names or something. So that's part of, you know, why I don't be wanting to come out and do anything. 1, 2, it's very expensive. And again, I'm not getting paid a lot anymore since I lost that job. And 3, yeah, my body just be in so much fucking pain from all this walking around, and they don't care. They just think it's fun. They just think it's really funny. And it's like, I mean, all the other people that's so-called low income, low class people agree there's nothing about this shit that's funny. It's really painful, you know. But not only painful, but scary. Like, as soon as I came out today, I was already just terrified, you know. And yeah, I had a feeling like they're never gonna be gentle, you know. But yeah, you know, you gotta try. So